Okay, so welcome to the third week of the training grounds. So I hope you enjoyed this week's lesson about market conditions where Naveen explains ranges, channels, and trends. Okay, so in the training grounds, we are going to put our main focus on ranges and channels. Okay, because trends, they are explained throughout the course. Okay, so we are just going to focus on the other two because they have a specific approach to deal with them when we want to trade them. Okay, so right now we are looking at this chart, and this chart was already analyzed in the gauging momentum lesson. So just try to look at this chart and see, like, the first thing, always just look at the overall territory. It's really important to start like that, and then try to understand what kind of market condition do you see here. Is this a trend? Is this a channel? Is this a range? Is this a trend and a range? Okay, because sometimes it's not easy to understand, because as the market is going, you might see both things, both conditions at some point. Okay, you can see a trend along with a channel, and then you realize, okay, it's a channel. Or you might see a trend and a range, and then you realize, okay, for now it's a range, but it's trending the same. So you can mix those sometimes, but what is important is to realize, okay, what is the chart doing right now? Okay, instead of just looking at too much data and waiting for too much time. Okay, so just look at the overall territory. Just pause the video, look at the overall territory, and try to see what market condition is here. Okay, and explaining to yourself why. Okay. Okay, so we've seen before that the breach is around at this spot. Okay, we went higher at this spot. We rested a bit here and we went higher. Okay, so if we wanted to put our threshold line, it would be around here. But when he went higher, look at the speed he went down. Okay, so he never actually breached above, because this is fake. So at this point, you can understand, okay, if this is still fake, then I will use this area, because this, from a mini territory perspective, this didn't actually breach above, it stayed below. Okay, so this area here can be our threshold for the range. And we know already that our first touch at least should be here. Okay, sometimes it's down here when the range is operating at the guy who started, but most of the times it's operating somewhere in a breach line, or even in a territory above. Okay, so this here could be considered a range also here, but this range doesn't belong to this time frame. This is a small range, and as Naveen explained in his videos, you shouldn't be looking at those tiny ranges. Okay, just look at the bigger picture. So we have our first touch here. Okay, this one, where he rested 100%, then he pushes lower and he rests 100% here again. Okay, this seller rested, so we know that we have another touch here. And this touch here comes with an incident, okay, as this one, because it just fakes out outside of the boundaries of this range. Then you have another one here, up here, okay? So you already have 3 touches. So at this point, with these 3 touches and with this incidence outside of the range, you can say, okay, this is a sell here. But remember that the buyer is your big boy, okay? So if the buyer is your big boy, this sell is risky, okay? If you are really used to range trade, then you can eventually take it, but it's risky because it's against your big boy. And if your big boy comes in, you won't have much time to deal with his strength, okay? So 1, 2, 3 touches, and then it starts slowing down here, and it rests, this seller rests here. And when he rests here, he pushes one more time, and again he's operating near this range area, okay? So this area here is a good area for the buy, okay? Because this is touching here again. This whole area here is another touch, okay? So these are good areas to go for a buy. But if you went for a buy in here, which is not completely wrong, because it looks like this seller is losing his strength at this moment, okay? But he only rests 100% for sure at this area, okay? Even though you have this wicks here, but it looks like it's resting 100% here. So even if you entered here, you would have your stop loss below this area, okay? So you would be fine, okay, for this range trade. And you would be trading at least to the top of the range, okay? Now this one is scary because when he reaches that area again, that top, it reacts strongly with the seller, but look like this seller couldn't hold below, okay? He tried, but buyer knocked him back above this area, okay? And when it stays here for a bit of time above this whole area, this is still continuing higher, okay?